you're watching this, it can only mean one thing. You've gotten your hands on one of these. It is the Tricky Nick Magic Kit. I'm very excited about this magic kit, guys, because when I was a kid, I used to buy magic kits and it'd come in a huge box and it would say 1,000 tricks, and I'd open it up and I'd be super excited, only to discover that half of the tricks were terrible and the other half were really difficult to do, and neither of them had great instructions. So what I've decided to do is pick tricks that are not only amazing, but also easy to do. And also tricks that let you be a little bit creative. Tricks that once you've learned the basics, well, you can kind of figure out a few things of your own. Now this is going to be a really short video where I just explain the basics for you. And then if you watch this space, some more videos might just pop up with some other tricks you can do with the things that you found in your magic kit. Let's start with the easiest trick of all. For this one, we're going to need this very special little coin. Now, if I take the coin and I place it very, very carefully inside my little tray here, and then take the tray and put it inside this plastic box, that means that there's no way that I can get to that coin. It's as safe can be. Problem is, one tap of the magic wand and the coin completely disappears. Look at that, it's gone. It's not in there, they can examine it, they're never gonna find it. So, how do we do the trick? Well, in reality, the coin is still there. But it's not here, it's actually here, hidden inside the tray. When I push this inside, it actually moves the inside of the tray, meaning the coin will disappear. Now at the moment, nothing happens. But if I turn it around and put it in the other way, that coin comes back again. Yeah? So I turn it around, I put it back in, and it disappears. So you can use this to make the coin disappear, like I just did. You can also use it to make the coin reappear. And you can even use it to turn one coin into another. You put your second coin inside the little tray, you make it disappear, and then when you go to do the trick for your friends, you say, I've got a tray and a coin, and you place another coin in here, maybe a silver coin in here, and then when you place it inside, it'll turn into, say, a gold coin. Yeah? This is very easy to do and lots of fun. You can, like I said, let people examine it, just don't let them examine this and this at the same time. Otherwise, they might put them together and figure out how the trick is done. We call that one the coin tray. So that, I would say, is probably the easiest trick. This next one, a tiny bit trickier. It requires a little pot, and people can look very closely and see there's nothing inside. And just like before, we also need our magic wand. We wave it around once, twice, 3 times, and a beautiful flower appears. How great is that? This trick is incredible. It looks amazing, it blows people's mind, and it's the kind of thing that people expect a magician to be able to do. So how do we do it? Well, here's the trick. The pot has a magnet in it, and the bottom of the flower also has a magnet. So they can come apart, but if I put them together, you could see that it's going to stick in there very, very easily. Just like that. Before you do the trick, you're going to take your wand, which is actually hollow in the middle. You're going to thread your flower all the way through, like this, until it gets right through to the end. You might find, by the way, that when you're doing this, that you can't actually get it all the way in, and maybe, oh, just like that, you see there's a little bit sticking out. If that's the case, there's 2 things you can do. You can get a pencil and very carefully push it in, or you can be gross and do this. And the other end will pop out there like that. I think a pencil is probably a better idea. So you can see how that's sticking all the way out. That's no good. So what we want to do is push it so that it is perfectly flush with our little guy there. So we want it to be perfectly flush right there. You can see there, right on the end. So it's almost sticking out, but not quite. Good way to do that is just put it on a table and push it down slowly, and it'll end up perfectly flush. Next step, hold on to the cup, take the wand. Now don't wave it like this, because it's going to be hard to do the trick if you wave it like this. Instead, wave it like this, so the wand is going up and down. You want to go round once, tap, round twice, tap, round 3 times. And on the 3rd time, instead of tapping here, you're going to take the wand, you're going to put it inside the pot, and then lift it up. But when you lift it up, don't lift it up slowly, lift it up quickly, and the flower will appear. If you do it slowly, then they'll see the flower clearly coming out of the wand. Another thing to remember is as you're pulling up, make sure you're going up. Sometimes, and I'm guilty of this, you'll go start up and then you'll start pulling it out sideways. And if you do that, of course, your flower might fall over. And this is not quite as amazing as, as this. The next one is just a tiny bit trickier again, but still very, very easy. You might have even seen this one before. This is called the ball and vase. So here's the vase, and then inside here is the little ball. Now, we take our ball and we put it in our pocket. We grab our wand, we wave it around the vase, tap, and look what happens. The ball comes back again, just like that. But I can go you one better, because if I cover it up, wave, and tap, the ball disappears and reappears back in my pocket. So how is this done? Well, you do need a ball and you do need a vase, but you also need something else. I'll show you what it is. Watch this. Here we go. You see, underneath the lid, there is also what we call a shell. That's half a ball that's been glued onto a piece of blue, like that. Yeah? So if I put the lid on and cover it up and then lift off the lid, you'll see a ball. If, however, I reach down just a little bit lower and lift up the ball, lift up the lid and the shell, well, you can see then that it looks empty. So at the moment, just so we're clear, the little shell is inside here. So this is the way the trick would work. You put it down, you lift up the lid and the shell, so the shell is now here. You take the ball, you pop it in your pocket, you put it back down, wave, tap, and now this time when you lift off the lid, you lift just a little bit higher and you release the shell. So remember, this isn't a real ball, it's just our pretend one. Then to make it disappear, you just reverse the process. You put the lid on, you wave, you tap, and then you lift it up again. And it's supposedly disappeared. And that is, of course, the point when you pull it out of your pocket. Now, the reason why this one can be a little bit tricky is that sometimes when you go to lift it up, you're not quite sure, am I lifting it up with the shell, or am I lifting up with the shell? Which one am I lifting up? And the worst one is when this happens. You go to lift it up and it falls off because you weren't gripping it tightly. So just practice a little bit, getting comfortable. No shell, shell, no shell, shell, and so on. And that is the ball and vase. Another incredible trick, and another one that I reckon you guys are going to enjoy experimenting with, being creative. What are some other places you could put the ball aside from your pocket? What could you pretend that the ball is? What are some really clever magic words, or what's a good story about where this little guy came from? A lot of stuff you can do with it. The last one I'm going to show you today is, I think, probably the trickiest one to do, but I know you guys can do it. The reason why this is tricky is that if we're not careful, we can actually damage the prop a little bit. Let me show you the trick first. For this, we're going to need a clown's red nose, just like that. Now, if I take this nose and I place it inside my hand, like that, and poke it all the way in, just like that, then wave the wand 3 times. 1, 2, 3. How many balls are in my hand? Some people say 1, some people say 2, some people say 3. The correct answer is none. Not because the ball has disappeared, but because it's not a ball at all. Look at that. It's turned into a cube. Isn't that wild? So how do we do it? This one's very clever. There's a hole in the back of the cube. So all we need to do to turn it into a ball is actually turn it inside out. So you're going to hold your fingers here, and then you're going to gently push like this and carefully turn it inside out. Carefully, carefully, carefully. It is made out of foam, and the foam can be fragile. So really just take your time, turning it inside out. You can see it looks like a ball. So if we want to turn it into a cube, we just have to turn it back into a cube. So how do we turn it into a cube in the easiest way possible? Make a fist. You're going to place your hand on top, on top of your fist like that. Take your finger and just push down. As you're pushing down, what you're actually doing is turning it inside out. So in order to turn it inside out like this, you need to make sure that your hand isn't too big like that, otherwise you're just going to pop it straight in, but also not too tight, otherwise there's no room. So just sort of push it in. If you feel like it's too tight, loosen your hand a little bit. If you feel like it's going all the way in, tighten it a little bit and just practice. But remember, don't jam your finger all the way in. You might put a hole in the middle of the thing, so be really careful. Once it's gone all the way in, you can see it's turned inside out. Now, if you are struggling to do that, if you think, oh, this is too fidgety, I don't like this is what I recommend you do. Start pushing it in a little bit, but then you might just sort of push in here a little bit and then push here. And as you're doing that, you can actually just use your other hand to sort of turn it inside out, yeah? Don't make this sort of action where they can see what you're doing, but you just act as if you're pushing and fiddling and trying to make something happen, yeah? And of course, always showing your hand is empty, and then you can wave the wand and the ball appears. The cube appears. It was a ball, now it's a cube. Thing to remember, it's got a big hole in the back. Don't show people the hole in the back. If they see that, it spoils the trick, okay? So, as you open your hand up, do it nice and slow. It should be here on the palm of your hand, and then just turn it like that so that you're looking at the hole on the back, and then you don't give it away. And that's pretty much it, guys. But before you go, I've got a few more secrets on how to make your magic more amazing and more incredible. First one is practice it a bunch. Do it in the mirror. If you've got an iPad or a phone, you can actually record yourself doing it, and then you can watch yourself performing, and you'll go, oh, wait a minute, that's not right. And you'll be able to tell how good you're getting. As soon as you learn the trick, I bet you're going to want to show someone straight away. Don't do it. Practice it a few more times. Because if you get the trick wrong, that's okay, it doesn't matter, but that person won't get a chance to see the trick as it's supposed to be done. So practice a bunch. Second thing is, don't tell people how you do the trick. I'm telling you today because I want you to learn. The more people who know how the trick is done, well, the less amazing it becomes. You don't have to be mean about it or smug and go, well, I know the secret and you don't. Instead, you just go, oh, sorry, I'm not allowed to tell you. And that's it. The third thing to do is, don't worry if people make weird comments. Sometimes people go, oh, I know how you did that, or, oh, that's not real magic, or, oh, that's dumb, and, there's sort of silly things that kids will sometimes say to each other, and to be honest, adults as well, yeah? Do not worry about that at all. Your job is to try and make people happy and try and amaze them. We're not trying to fool them, we're not trying to trick them, we're not trying to prank them, we're trying to make them feel something really special and nice. And there's no point in getting into arguments. Anyway, I hope you guys enjoy the Tricky Nick Magic Kit. Please shoot me an email, laugh@funnybones.com.au, if you have any questions at all on how to do the tricks, and I would love to help you figure it out. If you come up with your own special performance, please shoot me a video, let me see your work, because I would love to see you become just as amazing as me. Actually, you know what? Forget that. I want you to be more amazing.